Hello, and welcome to the Disability Myth. My name is Dominic, and I live with a fatal disease called spinal muscular atrophy. Together, my amazing caretaker, co-host, and best friend, Uriel, and I plan to debunk misconceptions, share our personal experiences, and shatter your expectations. But we're not stopping there. We're bringing in experts, thought leaders, and everyday people who are smashing through societal barriers, paving the way for a more inclusive world. Whether you're tuning in to learn, empathize, or simply to be entertained, the show promises to be an eye-opening experience that transcends boundaries. Because when it comes down to it, what makes us different is what makes us extraordinary. Welcome back to another episode of the Disability Myth. I am, of course, your handsome, your humble, and you know it, hammy host, Dominic Trevathan. And here with me today, as always, in the flesh, the handsome, the humble,
Equally as
equally as, I'm not nervous at all,
Hammy.
and hammy. Uriel, how you doing today, bro?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm very excited.
Me too.
We have a really cool guest today
We really do.
by the name of Chris
Benedict
DJ.
Hello.
of Ability.
Woo!
Welcome on, Chris.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So yeah, as we said, Chris is a very famous DJ, especially in the Santa Barbara area. He does a lot of public speaking as well, and he has a really cool story, as we hope you'll get to see throughout this little episode we've been working on. Um, and so just to kind of get everybody more comfortable, get the nerves out, especially mine, we're just gonna go through our icebreakers like normal. So, Chris, pineapple on pizza or no pineapple on pizza?
Oh, pineapple for sure.
Ah, dude. Gosh, the amount of people that say pineapple on pizza that end up being guests on my show is disturbing, to say the least. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, Coke or Pepsi?
Actually, if I have my choice, I would pick root beer.
Root beer.
Oh, there you
Okay,
go.
what brand of root beer?
A&W.
Oh, I
Oh,
knew it.
shoot.
I knew it. It's either gonna be Mug or A&W, but I feel like Mug's a little.
Aren't those like the only two brands, Mug and A&W?
Oh, there's way more,
I don't
but
even
those are
know.
the two that come to mind.
That's some serious root beer lore that I'm unaware of.
Yeah,
There's
and then,
specialty.
but there is a brand that uses real cane sugar. I forget the name of it, but it's really good.
Hmm.
I was about to say there's specialty root beers, like the ones that they sell in the glass bottles that aren't like the main
Right.
brand.
Yeah, exactly. Well, then I'll get stuck on that.
Gonna talk about soda all day.
Yeah.
All right, last little icebreaker. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
The best piece of advice that I've been given
Mhm.
is don't listen to your head.
Don't listen to your head.
Yeah, it will lie to you every single time.
So listen, you say listen to your heart then, right?
Actually, your heart is very deceitful.
Interesting.
So no. I am a Christian,
Hmm.
and I believe that we need to listen to the spirit.
Okay, that makes sense to me. That's good points. Okay, I like it. And I think that's actually a perfect segue into our myth for today, which is this idea that, you know, people can't reach their full potential in life, especially those with disabilities. And I know a lot of ways that, you know, people have a lot of different ways or tools they use to reach their potential, to get better, to better themselves, right? And one of them is definitely religion. And although I'm not, you know, particularly religious myself, I can definitely see how it can help a lot of people. And I can't think of a better person to talk about how to reach our full potential despite any limitations we have than you, Chris. So, with that being said, I'll let you kind of take over and do your thing, man.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
So, one thing that I gotta say before we get into the presentation is that I grew up in a very chaotic household. I was raised by my grandparents, and my grandma was addicted to prescription drugs. And then as you can tell, I have cerebral palsy, and that was due from my mom's death from an aneurysm of the brainstem.
Okay.
And then I came to live with my grandparents because of that. So I am going to be speaking on emotional fear, pain, and anxiety. So without further, shall we do it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's do it.
let's
Let's
do
jump
it.
in.
Yeah.
No, I liked hearing that little story too, just to start it off. I relate to that myself. I live with my grandparents actually right now
Yeah.
because just of how my parents growing up stuff wasn't perfect and they had their issues too, and so I can definitely relate, and I think a lot of other people will too.
Great. Let me just get this here.
Disclaimer: I am not an expert in this field. I'm working with my own personal experience, knowledge, and how I've grown and overcome in this subject. Chris Benedict.
So we are going to be speaking about emotional fear, pain, and anxiety. A very light subject, not. So what is fear? First off, fear is a liar. It will lie to you every single time. Fear is a noun, an unpleasant emotion caused by the what? Belief
Believe it.
that someone or something is dangerous, that leads to cause pain or a threat. A fearful person is prey to irrational fears, like the fear of not being wanted. So emotional families, anger, fury, hostility, annoyance, sadness, grief, self-pity, despair, dejection, loneliness, enjoyment, joy, relief, contentment, delight, thrill, euphoria, ecstasy. Love, acceptance, trust, devotion, adoration. Surprise, shock, amazement, wonder. Disgust, contempt, scorn, aversion, distaste, revulsion. Shame, guilt, remorse, humiliation, embarrassment. Fear, anxiety, anxiousness, nervousness, fight, terror, apprehension. The school of hard knocks, oh beep. I would say that might play a form of work. Take creative risks. You will often learn more from your failures than your successes. Source: see the Wolf Museum of Innovation and Exploration. Except for Wile Coyote, he never did learn.
Never did.
The cycle of fear. Fear equals worry, worry equals pain, pain equals fear. So, if we don't break the cycle of fear, it can get so big that it's all that we see. And how do we deal with fear? Well, some use alcohol, some use drugs, some use people, some use gambling, and they're trying to just numb the fear aspect. What we need to do is we need to get to the root cause. And how do we do that? We do talk therapy or counseling. And I've been in counseling for, 10 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
And it's really helped. The cycle of pain. And now you can have physical without physiological, but it's rare to have physiological without physical. What do I mean by that? So if you are walking down the street and you fall and you stub your toe or scrape your knee, that probably won't have any physiological effect. But if you are in a car crash or something traumatic, that will initiate a physiological response. So what are the different aspects of each one? So physical, we got an activity avoidance, deconditioning, pain with decreased activity, lack of sleep, lower pain response, and round and round and round we go. And then in physiological, we got pain, anxiety, fear, panic, reduced social interaction and isolation, poor mood, depression, increased perception of pain, and again, around and round and round we go.
Yep.
So, fear and pain. How does fear and pain affect you or us? So, we all have fear, we all have pain. There's nothing that we can do to avoid it.
Right.
But how we react to it is how we deal with it. And what I used to do is I used to stuff it. I used to imagine I had a big burlap bag and someone would anger me. I would stuff them in there. Someone else would anger me. I would stuff them in there.
Yeah.
I would stuff another person. Another person would anger me. I would stuff them in there. And all of a sudden, my bag is full. And then someone else just tips me off a little bit and kablooey. I'm mad at them for everything that other people have done to me. And that's not right.
Right.
So what I do now is if you anger me, I will stop and address you you see my fear and pain is justified. And you know what? Most of the time it's not.
Mhm.
It's just a miscommunication between the two parties. I really encourage the audience to really dig deep within yourself and figure out what makes you fearful and angry. And really see what, if it's justified or if it's not. I'm not saying that all fear and pain isn't justified. Some of the time it is. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go on. What do we do when faced with the tension and mass of disagreements? Some of us may be guilty of one or more of the following. Saying one thing to a burning face and then another behind people's backs. Make promises we have no intention of keeping. And blame. I used to do that. Attack. Give people the silent treatment. Become sarcastic. Give in because we're afraid of not being liked.
I relate to that one heavily.
Yep. Leak our anger by sending an email or text message containing a not so subtle criticism. Been there.
Done that.
Tell only half the truth because we can't bear hurting a friend's feelings.
Yep.
Say yes when you mean no. Avoid it and withdraw and cut off. Find an outside person with whom we can share in order to ease our anxiety. Worry is a total waste of time. It doesn't change anything. All it does is steal your joy and keep you very busy doing absolutely nothing.
Yep.
An action breeds doubt and fear. Action breeds confidence and courage. If you want to conquer fear, do not sit at home and think about it. Go out and get busy. So a lot of people with disabilities, I'm making a general statement here. I'm not saying everyone is like this. So a lot of people with disabilities stay home and just watch the TV.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, when you do that, you have a lot of time to think. And that's the worst place you can be, is in between your two ears.
Yeah.
And what you need to do is get out, go get a job, go hang out with friends. And once you get a job, what that will do is you are earning money and you are making an impact on society.
Mhm.
And you are teaching other people who don't have disabilities that people with disabilities can work.
Yeah.
And that's very important. What are some things that you are fearful of and why? So, what is the number one fear of people? What is the number one thing?
I'm gonna guess dying.
No,
You want to take a
that's,
stab, Rudy?
that's number two.
It's number two. Okay. What do you think it is,
But
Rudy?
you see it on the bottom left.
Speaking up in front of people?
Public speaking.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Public speaking is the number one fear. And I mean, I love it. I feed off of it. And I'm actually a member of Toastmasters International.
Oh wow.
And they really helped me hone my skills. And if anyone is interested in that, please drop me a line. What's a dash? Any idea what that means? The dash on your tombstone. Yes, I'm being a little bit dark here, but I think it's important. When you die, what will your family and friends and the world say about the life you lived? And what will be your mark on the world that you will leave? I want you to really think about that. Reality of fear. You're not scared of the dark. You're scared of what's in it. You're not scared of heights. You're afraid of falling. You're not afraid of the people around you. You're afraid of rejection. You're here. You're not afraid to love. You're afraid of being loved back. That used to be one of mine. You're not afraid to let go. You're just afraid that they're really gone. You're not afraid to try again. You're just afraid of getting hurt for the same reason. Fear. Here we go. What does fear stand for? Well, fear stands for false evidence appearing real. So, just like I mentioned earlier, sometimes you will be afraid of something that the evidence will be false.
Right.
But it looks really real at the time. But if you just push through it, it will look like a mountain, but it's really a molehill that you can just step over and sweep away. Face everything and recover. And there's one more that I didn't include in here because I don't think it was appropriate, but it was F everything and run. How did fear lie and cripple you? Or us? I want you to really think about that. How does fear and pain make us victims? The best form of revenge is what you think. Success.
Success. Yeah.
Because when people see you succeed, that tells them that you are capable of doing it, whatever it is.
Right.
And just like I'm a DJ. Well, how can I be a DJ? You have all this gear and you need to slap around and set up and play and then break down and then load back and then load it back into the van and drive home. Well, I got a way to deal with that. I hire people to do that stuff for me, and then I DJ in between. There's always a way to do it.
Yeah.
Just don't let fear stop you. Are you fine? Feeling inside, not expressed.
I think that's my favorite one.
What's on your wall of fear? Wall of fear. Not ready. Fear of failure. Need for perfection. Fear of exposure. Fear of the unknown. Not good enough. Fear of success. That used to be mine. Not capable. No security. Imposter syndrome. That used to be mine too. I made it for myself. Who cares?
Yeah.
Fear of rejection. Not enough experience. Not enough knowledge. Not enough talent. What do we need to do with this wall?
Break it down.
Before I say that, what is this wall? These are all lies.
Mm-hmm.
They're not true. They're just narratives that we say to ourselves. And what do we need to do with this wall?
Break it down.
You do. Blow it up.
Blow it up.
Get
Close
rid of it. And how do we do that? We do, like I said before, we got counseling, we got talking to your friends about what your fears are and do it that way. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. Nelson Mandela. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the assessment that something else is more important than fear. Franklin D. Roosevelt. I have self-doubt. I have insecurity. I have fear of failure. I have nights when I show up in the arena and I'm like, my back hurt, my feet hurt, my knees hurt, I don't have it. I just want to chill. We all have self-doubt. You don't have to deny it, but you also don't have to capitulate to it. you embrace it and conquer it. How will or do you deal with the person that you serve or will serve and their doubts and fears? And this question is for people who work with people with disabilities.
He's talking to you, Udi.
Yeah. COVID-19. People with disabilities are going through fear and frustration like everyone else. One needs to speak this problem with them. They are more limited to what they can do and their services are being canceled. How can one get them to express themselves like everyone else? And what might you suggest to overcome their fears and worries? What activities can you give them that they can do now? And also, when we were going through COVID and everybody was locked inside, it gave people without disabilities a taste of what people with disabilities are like, what they deal with every day. How can failure help you succeed? So, once you fail, your ass doesn't fall off, and you're smarter to try again. and once you conquer that fear, you're able to do it again, but not feel afraid. And furthermore, you're smarter about how you can do it better.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how to identify your feelings? Have you ever had someone to talk to about your feelings? Have you had a way to express your feelings? Have you ever asked your person served how they felt and why they felt that way? Special Incident Reporter, SIRs. What is an SIR? And if you don't know, an SIR is something that the regional center writes up. Yeah. It is a report that the regional center writes up if anybody gets hurt with a disability. And what would it look like if someone without a disability was held to the same standards as a person served by a regional center?
Mm-hmm.
How many SRs would you have? How did I learn? The school partner oh beep. Trial and error. Never settling. Always looking for a new tool for my belt. Networking, talking to people. Take this for example. Don't try this at home, please. I can't hear. So I got stuck in the bottom of a hill, and we could have done one of three things. We could have gone in my van and loaded me in the van. That would take it more time. We could have left my chair at the bottom of the hill and have me just ride in the car up to the top, or do what we did.
I like the way you did it. That's
I'm
pretty sick.
also broke. How old are you? Well, that's a strange question. We all know how old we are, right? How old did your person serve? Well, that's also a weird question, isn't it?
Mhm.
But how old are you emotionally? Are you an emotional infant? Not for others to take care of them? Have difficulty entering into the world of others? Are driven by need of instant gratification? Use others as objects to meet their needs. Emotional child. Are content and happy as long as they receive what they want. Unravel quickly from stress, disappointment, and trials. Interprets disagreement and personal offenses. Are easily hurt. Complain, withdraw, manipulate, take revenge, become sarcastic when they don't get their way. Have great difficulty calming, discussing their needs and wants in a mature, loving way. Emotional adolescents tend to be defensive, are threatened and alarmed by criticism, keep score of what they give so they can ask for something in return. Been there. Deal with conflict poorly, often blaming, impeding, going to a third party, pounding or ignoring the issue entirely. Yep, been there. Become preoccupied with themselves. Have great difficulty truly listening to another person's pain, disappointment, or needs. Are critical and judgmental. Emotional adults. Able to ask for what they need, want, or prefer things yearning, threatening, or honestly. Recognize, manage, and take responsibility for their own thoughts and feelings. Also, being able to assess and evaluate strengths and weaknesses while being able to discuss with others without losing themselves. Can under stress state their own beliefs and values without being adversarial. Respect others without having to change them and accept them for who they are. Acknowledging no one is perfect. No, not even you.
Yep.
Have the capacity to resolve conflict and accept shortcomings of others. maturely and negotiate situations that consider the perspective of others. Which one best describes the person or persons served and why? Which one best describes you and why? Among infant, child, adolescent, or adult. And guess what? When I started this comes from a book. And when I read this, I thought I was an emotional adult. And you know what the guy said in the book? No one is ever an emotional adult.
Mm.
We all fit into one of these three. Sorry guys, we never grew up. No matter if you're 1 or no matter if you're 9 or 99, we all fit into one of these three.
That explains why I still like Dino chicken nuggets so much.
What's your emotional baggage? Guilt, depression, anger, fear. What if only? What now? And what are you going to do about it? Because we all got baggage. What's on the other side of your door? Are you willing to take a risk and open it? Or are you going to play it safe when nothing good or bad will ever happen? So we all have a heartbeat. Without a heartbeat, we don't have life. We're dead.
Mhm.
And just in the same way, emotional growth is like this. Because emotion, you're supposed to have highs, lows, up, downs, good, bads. But if someone is stuck in front of their computer or TV all day and don't interact with people in any way, they're going to die emotionally.
Yeah.
Will you stay in your comfort zone or step out in faith? Don't should on yourself.
Yeah, Uri, stop shooting on yourself.
Oh, I should do this. I should do that. Don't should. Get it done, whatever it is. Because once you get it done, then it opens up headspace for something else. But if you procrastinate on something, you think, oh, I need to do this, whatever this is, that's going to take up headspace, and you just spinning your wheels when you could get it done and move on to another project.
And he's not talking the wheels on your chair.
I am. Safety is an illusion. Bad thing can happen to anyone at any time, whether you follow the rules or not. So story. So I was crossing the street and I had the green light.
Mhm.
And I went and the driver was making a left-hand turn.
Mhm.
And and didn't see me. And he T-boned me. And it broke my leg.
Wow.
So I had the right of way. And I was following the rules. But was I safe? No. It was an illusion. Not everything I do in life will please everybody. But whose life am I living? Yours or mine? Codependency. Codependency is an extreme form of self-sacrifice. It happens when a person takes caring for someone else to an extreme, looking after their own needs and sacrifice on their own. This behavior leads to an erosion of the self and leads an individual open to manipulation and controlling behavior. The bubble. Don't explain to me what you see.
I see quite a few bubbles
Yeah.
that are purple, and I see empty space between them, and maybe some
Yeah.
bubbles inside of the bubbles.
Do you want to touch them? Do you want to pop them?
That sounds like a lot of fun. Yes.
So, people with disabilities are often put into a bubble, and it looks really good. And because we don't want them to feel pain. We don't want them to hurt. Well, guess what? That's not the way life is. Life is full of pain and hardship.
Mhm.
And even people with disabilities need to feel those emotions. And when people without disabilities don't allow that, you're doing a disservice to people with disabilities. You're not teaching them how to deal with their emotions on their emotion in a mature way.
Mhm.
So when you do that, it looks like this. It's a mean bubble that if you do put people in the bubble and they get hurt, they don't have the skill set to deal with the emotions of death or of loss or of something like this. And when you do that, you get this. Don't rock the boat.
Mhm.
So people with disabilities are often taught not to rock the boat because it's uncomfortable. But guess what? If you don't rock the boat, you don't get what you want.
Yeah.
I got very good at riding the boat, and since I did, people respect me more.
Mm.
Care and control. So the woman is pushing the man, right?
Mhm.
And the man is looking like he wants to go to the left.
Yep.
And so the woman has control. Well, no. The woman is caring for him by pushing him.
Mhm.
But she also controlling him by doing what she wants to do, not what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Versus someone like this. Now you see the man in the scooter and his wife next to him. And so if he wants to go off and do something, he can do it without her. And vice versa. And they look really happy together. Hope. Hearing other people's experiences. This is really important in people in the disability community.
Mm-hmm.
Because once we hear other people's experiences, we can say, oh, I've had that experience too. What did you do about it? Oh, I did X, Y, Z. How did it work out for you? It worked out great, or I wouldn't do that again.
Right.
And it really helped us to explain how to interact with each other. I choose not to place this in my ability because everybody has an ability, no matter what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You might be really good at cooking. I'm not. But I'm good at music. I'm good at public speaking.
Yeah.
And everybody is good at something. All you gotta do is figure out what it is. And how do you do that? You do it by experimentation. You just go out and try something and see if it works. If it doesn't work, go and try something else. If it does work, great. Keep doing it. We all must suffer one of two things: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret and disappointment.
Yep.
How many pounds per square inch did a plant of dirt on the ground when it pushes through a swamp? Any idea?
I believe it's more than you would expect, right?
Yeah,
A lot.
it's
Yep, it's 700 pounds per square inch.
It's crazy.
yeah.
Most people with disabilities may not get the opportunity to interact with people emotionally. Therefore, never get the opportunity to grow emotionally and socially. Are you allowing people to grow? Or are you stunting their growth? Comment made by Westmont student. Often people view those with disabilities as just a disability. They see the disabilities first and remove the human characteristics that make them who they are. Those who have disabilities view themselves as someone who is more than their disability. For example, they are good at a certain field of work or board games. There is so much more about them that does not relate to their disability and relates to people who don't have disabilities. So these are the books that I pull from.
Okay.
Emotionally healthy spirituality, and celebrate recovery. Movie recommendations. My left foot. Roy O'Shea was here. The sessions. That one. Royal, and then the upside.
I've seen the upside. That's really good. It's funny.
If I had to recommend any three, I would recommend Roy O'Shea, the sessions, and the upside.
Okay.
Now, the one thing about sessions is it has adult content. It's not made for children, so just be forewarned.
That's to the 2% of our listeners that are under 18. You don't watch that.
Describe your experience. Over the next week, reflect and see what emotional age you are. How do you see your life experiences and others differently? What personal and professional challenges do you see in the next 5 years? What avenues will you use to grow emotionally in the next 5 years? How will you develop your intuition? How will you encourage responsible risk taking of people you serve? How will you support people who you serve to encourage making mistakes? If you see someone with a disability about to fail, what will you do? How can you turn it into a teachable moment? What safeguards should be added or removed from society to encourage emotional growth? How has a failure in your past turned into a positive experience? In your personal life, if failure an option, why or why not? And then that's it.
That's all, folks. No, that was awesome. I didn't want to like jump in and just like start talking, even though I wanted to at some points,
It's a
because
lot, the process.
it is a lot.
Yeah.
And you're asking a lot of questions that people, I think, are often afraid to ask themselves
Yeah.
and the people in their lives
Right.
for obvious reasons. That being what the whole program is about, fear, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
What are your thoughts, bro?
The thought that like fear is a lie is that, well, you know, this is your thoughts. You create all these misconceptions and all these what ifs.
Mhm.
When in reality, it's you don't know until you actually ask the person, or in this case, like do the action.
Yeah.
And you're just in this, like Chris says in the presentation, you're just in this constant state of worry.
Yeah.
Or like, what if?
Um,
Right? And you won't, like, I know for us, we were kind of in that what if stage
For a while.
before we did this show.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, you know, let's just try it.
Well, I have a note on that, but before I get into that, can you push up my glasses, please?
Of course.
How many followers do you have?
What's that?
How many followers do you have?
Phone
Followers.
Oh, followers. On the podcast, we have like I'd say close to 100 now. We're like over 80, between 80 and 100, I think.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
It's exciting.
it's cool.
It's we started it in August. So we've just
Yeah,
been
chugging
just been
away.
cranking.
No way.
Yeah.
Hey, that's really good.
Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Thank you. No, we appreciate it. And you know, I think a big part of it is just being able to bring other really cool people such as yourself from the disability community onto this platform and to hear your stories and like let's listen to your lessons and what you guys have to say. Because when we started this, it was just me and Udi, and honestly, it was gonna be just me to start, but I was like, I'm kind of afraid to do this by myself, And so that's something, we talked about and figured, it wouldn't hurt if he joined me as my caretaker and my friend to give his perspectives. And, as you say, as a person that's serving me. And yeah, I think everything you mentioned in that presentation applies to us perfectly as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
what really stood out to me too is just the idea of isolation playing a big factor in one reaching their potential. Because if you isolate yourself and you don't seek help or seek other people when you're alone, you kind of get stuck in that cycle, like you say, of just going through the pain and isolation and more pain and isolation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you're stuck with your own thoughts.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's like you said,
And
Mhm.
that's a horrible place to be.
yeah. Like, it's very easy, as you say, as a disabled person, to choose not to do anything. Because why would I do anything when I can just chill in my room, receive a check from Social Security, and do what I want to do without, an external quote unquote life? It's very easy to fall into that kind of pitfall of thinking, but you don't grow, like you say,
Mhm.
and that's important. And I've always felt that way growing up, that I wanted to be more than just a person with a disability. So, your presentation really hits home for me, definitely, and I know it will for a lot of other people too. So, really appreciate you coming on here, Chris.
Yeah, you're welcome. And there anything else that I can do for you, please let me know.
Yeah, man, we'll do. I
All right.
I think we'll do our little outro real quick and end it off. So,
Sound good.
with that being said, if you liked what we had to say today, please leave us that rating, perhaps a nice little review on Apple Podcasts,
Mhm.
and be sure to share with your friends and
Family.
yay, this is our first time. If you're not already, be sure to share on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at The Disability Myth. It's really exciting times. This will be our first official video
Yeah.
upload.
Wow.
Hoping it all works out.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're saying this instead
Yeah.
of just hearing it. And yeah, I think we'll make one final plug. If you're not already, be sure to check out djofability.com if you want to check out Chris's work, see what he's got going on. And yeah, any final plugs you want to make yourself, Chris?
No, that's all for now.
Awesome.
Wow.
All right, well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you again. Peace and love, and may the force be with you.